This week, we introduce you to a new Indiana News Desk series we're starting called Hidden Places. It's about exploring places or things you've wondered about in Indiana, but have never had the opportunity to experience. My colleague, Sarah Whitmire, joins us now to tee up the first installment. Sarah, I saw a little bit of this in the newsroom, and you were on top of the dome at West Baden. I'm a little scared of heights. I don't think I could have done that.
It certainly was a climb. You know, most of us are familiar with West Baden, and people from around the world flock to the resort in many cases just to take in the architecture. The 200-foot domed atrium was the largest free-span dome in the world until the 1960s when the Houston Astrodome was built. Our trip shows you a side of the dome you've never seen before as we travel to a mysterious treasure high above the atrium floor. Our journey starts here. If you're here in the atrium of the hotel, look up. The angel room is about 100 feet above the floor in that white cylinder where all the roof trusses come together.
The only access to see the angels is to scale the top of the dome.
You start by taking an elevator up to the 7th floor. Our guide is engineer Jim Self.
There's a certain point where we need to come down facing the roof because the steps are so close. If you try, or actually you're facing the thing because the steps are so close, you need to get your foot in there.
We'll follow your lead?
Yep, that probably
Okay. It's not exactly a ladder and not exactly steps. The rungs are close together, and because of the way they slant in, you need at least one free hand to hold on to the railing as you work your way up the roof of the dome. It levels off at the top, and you can take in the view of the entire valley.
This is the very top of it. You'll actually go down a staircase in there that takes you down to where the angels were painted.
And then there they are, staring at you. As your eyes adjust, the angels begin to pop out of the steel walls and reveal themselves. The room is 16 feet wide and 10 feet high, and the angel murals stand floor to ceiling. When you look up, 3 cherubs are floating on faded clouds. When were these painted? Who painted them and why? There are no answers, but theories abound. Librarian and art history buff Carrie Schweer is among the many people who's researched the angels. The paintings are in the style of 15th and 16th century artists.
The paintings are so detailed, and even some of the aspects are so close to the aspects of the actual paintings that they had to have been, I think, painting from reproductions.
Things like the halos in the murals are similar to the details that were incorporated in Fra Angelico's altarpieces, and the cherubs on the ceiling are like Raphael's Sistine Madonna.
Even if you look really closely at the way the hands are positioned on some of the angels, even though they're not incredibly realistic, you can tell that the artist is trying to position the fingers in a similar, bend them in a similar way. I think someone probably saw these Renaissance paintings and just sort of wanted to put their own spin on it.
A popular theory is the artist modeled the faces after real people, but who?
It could be some of the family members associated with the owners of the hotel. I even wonder if maybe if these were painted by one of the individuals convalescing at the hotel.
The time frame when the angels were painted is between 1901, when the hotel was being rebuilt, and 1918, the date of the earliest recognizable graffiti on the murals. Could artisans working on the hotel during the renovations have painted the angels? The Cassini family lived at the hotel for 2 years while they worked to lay 12 million pieces of tile on the atrium floor. There are similarities between early family photos and the angel faces, the rounded hairstyles and dark eyes in particular. Closely examining the paintings leads to yet another possibility. Notice the headpiece on this angel. From 1918 to 1919, West Baden was an army hospital. Could the faces represent the nurses? Is the angel's headpiece actually a nurse's cap?
It's known that during that time period, military hospitals, they would have had all kinds of programs for these individuals to sort of help them rehabilitate. It's noted that some of those programs were art.
So perhaps a recovering soldier was the artist, maybe working alongside an art teacher.
I'm intrigued by the World War I angle, just and all the soldiers coming back who would have seen these horrible things overseas, and maybe one of them painting it as sort of a memorial to those who died, or because I think it's kind of interesting that this is a religious subject matter.
At the same time the soldiers were convalescing at West Baden, the circus was wintering here. Ed Ballard, who owned the hotel, was a partner in the second largest circus on the continent.
The circus certainly would have had individuals for painting banners, signage for advertising and that kind of thing. And they also had a paint shop there on location that certainly could have served the individual in charge of that paint shop certainly could have been a prime suspect.
Circus painters also knew how to paint big. The angel murals are larger than life size. Testing the paint to see if it matches what circus painters used would show whether this theory is on the right track. But time is making finding the true story behind the angels more difficult.
People's recollections alter, and especially now that we're almost 100 years from or more from the time period we're talking about. None of these people are living anymore.
And maybe that's part of the allure of these hidden angels, imagining all of the possibilities of who the artist might have been. It's a mystery you might not want to solve.
And West Baden did open the Angel Room up for tours briefly a few years back, but the story goes that their insurance company found out and said either you get insurance or you get tours, but you can't have both. Now, if you want to see the angels, there are replicas of them at a museum in Indianapolis. It's at the Irvington Historical Society, and there you can see the angels and what they looked like before they started deteriorating from age and before they were painted with all that graffiti you saw in the piece.